Okay, so let's take a good sitting position and then close our eyes. So today the atmosphere feels quite peaceful already to begin with, but anyway, we can start by gathering our presence and attention here. Connect to the breathing and our senses, feelings, the ability to feel, and then to witnessing, to perceiving. And while coming more awake, we also relax more. Can even say that we surrender more. And for this opening to happen and awakening to happen, it's important to have a real, genuine intention for that, to be open, to receive, to surrender. And often it's good to voice this intention also when you begin a practice. So, our intention is to be open to the grace of God. May your grace and mercy, purity, truth, and being descend on all of us, and may it affect our minds, hearts, bodies in a way that we arrive closer and closer to your being, and to a lasting remembrance of the true or the truth. So let's continue to listening in a very subtle, very deep way into this essence of everyone and every being. Listen into this something that is called the unmanifest, or his, her, isness, his, her essence. The state beyond all states where God is alone as himself, herself, with nothing else existing, or no thing existing. Sometimes in our meditative experience, the utmost emptiness unmanifest can be on the foreground, and sometimes, and you can also say that often when we are in connection with this emptiness, we soon start to sense or see that in a way, in this unseen, unmanifest nothingness, there is something still moving. It's not something we can see, but it's a bit more of something we can already experience. It's like experiencing not just the emptiness, but when that emptiness is starting to give birth to something, and this deep, not in an evil or bad way, but deep, 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 deep womb of everything starts to become alive. There's nothing forming yet, but it's moving, it's alive. There is something happening, and this we can also experience. And these are two very experiences that are very close to each other, two layers of existence that are very close to each other, but still can be recognized as different. And then the Hadith Qudsi says that I was a treasure and I longed, wanted to be known, so I created existence for everything so that I might be known. And this is the moment when consciousness, the primordial consciousness, starts to happen. And this light appears or becomes conscious of itself. The primordial light, the first radiance of consciousness. This light consciousness that we can sense, feel, hear, see, taste, it definitely intensifies our tasting and makes it more refined. And this light is the light of God, is the light of the source, is the light of life itself. But in the Sufi tradition, we also call this first light the Muhammadan light, Nur Muhammad. The first creation. And just as a small side step, maybe it helps us relax into this experience to know that also in the Bible it has a different name. It's not called the Muhammadan light, it's called the Word. And Christ is synonymous with the Word. So in the Christian contemplative tradition, this light is called Christ. And in India, some of the lineages there call it Krishna consciousness or Krishna. So there are many names for this first creation. And we don't need to know about all of them. We just need to walk one path and receive this knowledge and get our own experiences and connect personally. So from this light that we are connecting to at the moment, like a crystalline, sharp, clear, pure light from which emanates all the different kinds of colors, versions of this light, all the angelic powers emanate from this one light. Everything in existence is created from the light of Muhammad, or the Muhammadan light. Not from the person of Muhammad, but from this Nur Muhammad, and from this Nur Muhammad are born all the levels of creation. It has all the names, all the qualities of God as potential, or as a potential, and from it they all emanate into existence and create this existence on its every level. So God creates a mirror for him, herself, or itself. Creates a treasure that is made of millions and billions and zillions of different kinds of jewels, different kinds of light, different kinds of love, different kinds of truth, which is a mirror for itself. And this light, that emanates millions, zillions of different kinds of pearls, diamonds, jewels, precious spiritual substances, is this treasure that we get to know. He says that I was a treasure and I wanted to be known. So I created this first creation so that I might be known. And the first emanations from this pure, pure light, or this next sphere of emanation, from it is a very calm, a very peaceful, very angelic, you could say, It's made of all the primordial, godly, holy powers that we can sense and feel. And on this level is what we also call in our practice the causal body. It's very, very subtle. Not really personal, it doesn't really have much texture, but it has a certain texture, yet, in any ways. And this is the level where all the creative powers and also our souls, the deepest parts of our souls, not our spirit, because our spirit is one with this Muhammadan light. There is only one spirit. But on this causal level, there are already beings conscious of being, different kinds of beings. And this is what we would or can call the spirit level of the spirit. And then there's the next sphere or level, emanation, on which, for example, the souls take a more visceral form. The separateness is already a bit more tangible. And this is the level where our most of our psyche is working, where our feelings also happen. So it is an energetic level, and it is the level of our astral bodies or emotional bodies. And then our spiritual imagination is connecting to both the spirit, the level of the spirit, and the level of the psyche, or the not so subtle level of the spiritual reality. And then there is the next emanation, which is the physicality or the concreteness. And we should remember and recognize that all of these levels are just different parts of the same emanation. Not one of these levels is separate from the his, her, isness, not separate from the mirror he, she created, which is called the Muhammadan light, not separate from the realm of subtle realm of the spirit, not separate from the level of the energetics and our psyche. It's all one continuum. And whereas the whole of existence is the form of the first light, sometimes it is called Adam, the primordial human being, first human being. which is this whole creation. And this light in its heart is his, her light. And there are experiences where we connect to the bigger view, let's call it that, bigger view. And we get knowledge of all of these levels from a perspective that is not the perspective of a human being. But most often we experience these levels as parts of our own soul, layers of our own soul. And we don't need to connect to all the knowledge that is there. But we can connect because we are pictures of this, of God. Smaller versions, you can say, of this primordial human being called Adam, or the first human being, first creation. And then there is one more level or layer, which can be also called the level of the completed or perfected, complete human being. Which is the level where all of these levels collect or gather into one. It's like they found their ground, from the utmost concreteness, and then everything gathers on its feet here and forms a conscious human being that lives on all of these levels simultaneously. And when this happens, this creation process with this particular human being has, in a way, reached its purpose. His image has formed, his, her image has formed. There is a mirror that is conscious of itself, who can look at itself on all levels, know that it is not separate from the source, it is the source. And through his hands, the source, the one is acting. Through its eyes, it's looking. Through its mouth, it's speaking. Speaking to itself, serving and in service of itself. So let's take a few more minutes to just let these words and what's behind them reach us and touch us on every level and gather together in this moment. God in his her essence and aloneness, uniqueness, is called Ahad, Al-Ahad. And Muhammad is also called in the Quran Ahmad. And in a hadith, he says that I am Ahmad without the M. And those of us who receive and see and perceive this Muhammadan truth very naturally find ourselves in yearning to serve this light, this source of life, this first creation, and cannot but help to love it and serve it. And all the saints in the Sufi tradition are souls who have lost themselves in this light, so that it is this light that is living in them. For there is only one. And to finish this evening, we can say our individual prayers and thank yous, and then start to slowly close the practice. Amen.